A true rescue miracle.
The temperature dropped to a bone-chilling freeze, turning the city into a jagged landscape of ice. Daisy, a tiny yellow kitten no bigger than a handful of fluff, dragged her shivering body through a flooded, dark alleyway. Her once soft fur had hardened into sharp spikes of ice. Every step was a battle against the numbing cold. She sniffed hopefully at a pile of wet trash, desperate for a scrap of food, but the shadows held only danger. Suddenly, a stray dog lunged with a snarl. Daisy scrambled up a slick brick wall, her tiny claws digging deep just as teeth snapped inches from her tail. She was alone, frozen, and hunted. Before the kitten could even catch her breath, a hooded stranger emerged from the gloom. Heavy hands scooped her up and shoved her into a rough burlap sack. The world went pitch black. The stranger began to sprint, his heavy boots crunching over broken glass and frozen puddles. But he was not unobserved. Piper, a massive Bernese mountain dog with eyes like amber, stood at the alley entrance. She lowered her nose to the slush, catching the scent of the terrified kitten. With a low growl, she bolted into the night. She vaulted over a sagging fence and sprinted across a slick, frozen river, her heart hammering with purpose. The stranger ducked into a derelict warehouse, the heavy iron door slamming shut. Piper arrived moments later, her claws clicking rhythmically on the cold concrete. Through a jagged hole in the wall, she saw Daisy trapped in a rusted cage. Piper slammed her powerful shoulder against the door, but it held firm. From inside, the stranger let out a sharp, mocking laugh. For 3 long days and nights, Piper circled the perimeter. She squeezed through narrow drain pipes and narrowly missed a deadly tripwire trap. She clawed at the heavy door until her pads bled and the snow was stained red, but the lock remained stubbornly shut. She would not leave her. On the 4th night, disaster struck. A tipped kerosene lantern ignited a pile of oily rags, and orange flames quickly began to lick the timber walls. Thick, black smoke billowed upward, choking the small room. Inside her cage, Daisy huddled in the corner, mewing piteously at the rising heat. Seeing the glow, Piper didn't hesitate. She charged through a shattered window, but she felt no pain. She rammed her snout into the cage door, twisting her neck with raw strength until the rusted latch finally snapped. Daisy bolted, but Piper caught her gently by the scruff of her neck. Just then, the ceiling groaned under the weight of the fire. Piper leaped over the glowing debris, her paws sliding on the melting floorboards. With one final desperate surge, she sprinted through the wall of fire. They tumbled into the mud together, the heat of the fire finally giving way to the biting wind. Piper lay still, her fur scorched and matted with ash. Daisy crawled into the thick, warm fur of Piper's neck, shivering as the sun hit the horizon. They walked until they reached a quiet porch. Daisy curled into a ball against Piper's chest, tucking her head under the dog's chin. They fell into a deep, dreamless sleep. When the winter storms returned, they stayed inside, curled together by the hearth, finally safe and finally home. Thanks for exploring Piper's big world of dogs. If you had fun, don't forget to give us a paws up and subscribe to join our pack. Got a favorite dog breed? A silly pet story? Drop it in the comments below. We'll see you next time for more fur-tastic facts, tail-wagging tales, and possum adventures.